doesn't get gas here? What are you doing here?
It needed to fill up.
Oh, we've made it to Sonic. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Man, do I have a good video for you guys. This video, I have been waiting since December 21st to make this video. You want to know why? Well, December 21st, I drove down to San Antonio, Texas to pick this car up. So, we are finally revealing Joe's Fox body. So, Joe's probably going to tell you more about the car once we get there, but if you guys don't know, StreetCarJoe on Instagram, Joe had the blue Trans Am, probably the cleanest Trans Am I have ever seen in person or in photos, in videos, whatever the case may be. But that car was super awesome. It was sad to see it go, but I knew with Joe being the way Joe is and his knowledge and how particular he is about things, this car would be on another level. So the reason why Joe got this car was he needed a 25.3 cage to go as fast as he was going, and he didn't want to cut up the Trans Am and put that type of cage in the Trans Am. Now, I think the new owner is probably going to do that for safety reasons. You guys should always have the correct cages for your cars. But anyways, if you take a Trans Am and an F-body in general, and you're going as fast as Joe was going, and then to go add like another, I don't know, 75, 100 pounds for a 25.3 cage, where are you gonna make that up? You gotta make that up with power. So Joe was, that car was already pushing a ton of power. Obviously, he probably could have made more power, but the problem is he was adding more weight. So he thought, okay, I made it this far with the Trans Am, I'm gonna get a lighter chassis, and I'm gonna put the same amount of power into it eventually, and go a lot faster, and it's got the correct cage, it's got the fire safety system, it's got everything it needs. And then I think the biggest selling factor is that he could build the car from scratch. So he bought a super nice roller. I think the car originally was from Oklahoma actually, and then we actually bought it in San Antonio, but it was like a big block nitrous no prep car the last time it was out. Had a whatever looking wrap on it. I'm not a huge fan of the wrap that was on it. I'm gonna post a picture here. But anyways, got the car back to Joe's on December 21st. Kennedy and I drove down and got it for him, and he's been working on it ever since. Now his goal was to have it at the flashlight shootout back in February, the one that we had at XRP. He wasn't able to make that timeline just because parts were delayed. And you know, he built the car literally from scratch. You guys will see, it's really cool. He did all the wiring, all the plumbing, the fuels, the fuel lines, the coolant, the motor, the trans, the turbo system. Insane. He had to make some changes, you know, to the seat mounting position and change some bars in the back to mount the radiator in the back. Like, there's so many changes he had to make with that car, and it's really cool because he did it all himself in his little 2-car garage, not like a big shop, or he didn't pay a shop to do it. So it's really cool. Joe does some really awesome work. If you guys don't know, obviously he's helped me build my Mustang to where it's at, and yeah, so Joe's gonna tell you all about the car when we get there, but he is finally revealing it. Now, for the longest time, since December, he's been putting off telling people exactly what's done to the car, and I'm sure he's not gonna go into specific details on engine setup and turbo setup and all that good stuff, because some of that you kind of do have to keep quiet. But he's gonna give you the overall setup. We're gonna see it. Hopefully we're gonna hear it start. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to show you guys. I'll see you guys over at Joe's.
Rebel soul child got a fist balled. I'm a respawn of ancestors, and I'm blessed, They are not him, tell him fess up. I get check stub, hella carefree, nothing scares me, hella reckless. Yeah, I got next up, right? No, we not the same, cause see when I look in your iris, you likely to talk but not ready to ride. You do better keeping it quiet. My pen is ignited, my soul is enlightened. I like who I am, but I'm biased. They palette is right, and my drip is a fountain. I'm not like these regular guys. All of that talk is misguided. She like the way I make the tape print, but the way I make the words play is grim. I'm the reaper reaching for the kill switch, the label cut the check like the bladesman. Something sparking where his brain is. The beat is somewhere where they prayers in. Geronimo, the way I make the bass jump when no parachute is tasteless. They nice guy on the inside, still I'm not somebody to be played with. Keep it all the way 1,000. I don't remember how the ground feels. I left the city, I've been browsing, treading water that they drown in. I head on the swivel, yeah. It's only really my surroundings. They keep it all the way 1,000. I don't remember how the ground feels. I left the city, I've been browsing, treading water that they drown in. I head on the swivel, yeah.
What the? That guy doesn't get gas here. What are you doing here?
Needed to fill up.
Oh.
About to go on a road trip.
Oh, okay.
I'm in.
Oh. So much legroom. What are you trying to look over? Alright guys, we're live right now. Well, we've made it to Sonic in Streetcar Joe's Fox body that doesn't have a passenger seat, but that's okay. Because we had to come for the photo op. Joe says it drives pretty good. This is all Joe cares about, is taking his cars to Sonic. To prove the streetcarness. Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed that little cinematic edit. If you guys didn't jump on the live, Joe and I actually took the car out. We went to Sonic, we got some ice cream, took some streetcar photos, and Joe got some pump gas. So Joe's got some pump gas in it because he's got to seat the rings, get the motor broken in, and then he'll switch to whatever fuel he's switching to. I don't know if he's gonna say or not, but Joe's finishing cleaning up the car and he's gonna pretty much go over everything he's done to it. But like I said earlier, we picked it up December 21st, San Antonio, and if you think where this car has come, it's come a long way in a short amount of time. So it's been like, what, 4 months then, I guess?
3!
3.5.
3!
3.5.
3. I didn't start working on until 1st of January. It's the 1st of February.
True.
3 months.
That's true. So, lots of work has gone into this car. I don't know how Joe has the patience for this. I would have gone crazy a long time ago. I think Joe was going crazy there for a while. But it's come together. It looks so sick. At the end of the video, I'm gonna drop some photos that we took because we took some really good photos of the car out. And hopefully all this stuff that's going on blows over soon and we can get to racing. But Joe says we're going testing next weekend. So I guess we're gonna go testing. Joe will find a track somewhere in this country. Maybe it'll be out of the country. But we're gonna get it cleaned up and then Joe's gonna tell you all about it. Look pretty legit. Look how freaking low it is. Holy smokes. It's gonna stay at that height, right?
Yeah, no, it's not coming up.
All right, well. Joe, how many hours? Everyone keeps asking.
I don't know. I don't even know how you could calculate
Yeah, because some days you work 4 hours, some days you work 6 hours.
Yeah, some days it's like, I'd say on average, most evenings, because our little one goes to bed about 7 to 8. So most evenings I'd work 8 to 11. Some nights 8 to midnight, some nights 7 to midnight, but about that. So if you average 4 to 5 hours a night, 5 nights a week, that's 20 hours.
Oof.
And then the weekends, you know, I'd get a little more. You know, one day I'd maybe put 10 hours on it, and the next day I'd do about 5. So you figure 35 hours a week. It's probably a good estimate. We figured 12 to 14 weeks.
It's gotta be 14.
So that's like 500 hours.
Easily.
And that doesn't include, lots of people have helped along the way.
Yeah. That doesn't include like researching parts. That's straight labor
That's
hours.
straight labor, yeah. So it doesn't include like, sitting on the computer.
Joe sits on the computer for hours finding parts, trying to figure out what combinations.
In the beginning, it was all research.
Yeah, that's all you're trying to figure out what to do.
So yeah, no, it's a lot of hours. I would, 500 to 1,000 hours of a single laborer's work in a garage would be about accurate.
So for the people that are new, Joe had this pretty much exact car in high school, right? Same year?
Different year. The one I had in high school was a hatchback.
Oh, that's
close.
right.
It was a black Fox body Mustang.
Yeah.
That's what we'll go with.
Pretty damn close. So that's kind of the cool
nostalgia.
Yeah.
Very nostalgia.
So Joe's back in a black Fox. So this one's a 93, right?
93.
93 notch.
Notch.
And the reason you bought it, for the people that don't know, they're new to the channel.
So, so the Trans Am was fast, super fast. Great car. The problems with the Trans Am, two major problems. It was heavy, and it only had a 10-point cage. So I love the Trans Am. I miss that car a lot. It was a great car. But in the end, a guy was offering me good money for it, and it just worked out perfectly. So I said, okay, sold that car, and I knew immediately I was getting something with a 25.3 or 25.5 chassis that was lighter, that was still factory suspension, factory strut tires, factory firewall, all this long list of stuff it had to have, but it was lighter, so, and safer. So we found this roller. It was down South Texas, Houston, right?
San Antonio.
San Antonio. It's 25.3 chassis, great chassis already. Good work. It had nice fab 9-inch rear end, nice brakes, nice suspension all the way around, and it was ready to go. But it was roller only. It had no motor, transmission, or electronics.
It looked.
It was pretty rough too.
The cage was nice. The cage was nice, but the car itself.
The cage was nice. The car itself, I mean, the body is nice.
Yeah, there was no dents or anything.
Yeah, I mean, the body's clean and straight. The doors close good.
Yeah.
I had to get a lot painted. It had a wrap on it. When we pulled the wrap off, it pulled the paint off.
Man, we should have videoed that.
Which that was not cool because the dude told me the paint was great underneath.
Literally,
So,
this stuff, like, it was primer underneath. There was nothing. It just took the paint
took
straight off. So for the people that don't know, what's a quick 10-point versus 25.3?
So yeah, 10-point is just your main hoop, and then it comes and it has your A-pillar bars. The 25.3 has your funny car cage, and then it's got the crossbars, and it's got a lot of extra support. It's got tons of rear bars, and then you can see this right here. I don't know if you can see that. This is what makes them 25.3, is the gussets in between all the bars.
So my car's got a 10-point, which is what the Trans Am had, but when you're going this fast, you gotta have
25.3. Are technically only good to 850s in the quarter mile.
Yeah.
25.3 chassis at 3,200 pounds, I believe, is the weight restriction on them. They're good to 650s in the quarter mile. So it's good to go super fast. It's got fire suppression in it already. I gotta replumb it.
It's got the side net, you just gotta hang it up.
Yeah, I got the side net, gotta hang it up. So it's super safe. Like, it's set up to be really safe.
So maybe for the people, what's fire suppression? Because people might not know what that is.
Fire suppression, I'll have a lever right next to my head, and it's a fire extinguisher in the car pretty much, and it has nozzles at your feet, and then it has nozzles in the engine bay. So if you crash the car, fuel's everywhere, it's on fire, you know, it takes you a little bit to get out of the car. So you can pull that lever, it puts out the fire at the feet, if there is one, puts out a fire under the engine bay, and gives you time to get out.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. But that stuff's expensive, like, it's not cheap stuff.
No, it is.
Brady has joined the building. Hello, Brady. Okay, so moving on. Where do you want to go next?
We'll kind of go through the timeline for the last 3 months. Or do you just want to go over the specs? I don't care.
Do a short timeline.
Short timeline.
The quick timeline.
The interior. Right? I spent way too much time on the interior.
That's because of one thing.
There was a lot of holes, and I wanted to fix a few things, and one thing turned into another. And yeah, I pretty much just redid the whole interior. Like, all the floor pans are all sealed up now. I painted it all. I redid the roll cage and painted the roll cage. I had to redo some bars for the seat. I needed to lower the seat and move it back. Bought brand new Ford factory carpet and put it in it. Street car.
The seat, you spent like 2 weeks on the seat, man.
No, I really did. But that's also because I've never used a tubing bender, so I had to learn. So like, I had to bend that tube, and I've never done it. So it was a learning process. So yeah, so that started in the interior, and then the same issue happened with and this is why I was waiting for parts to show up, but the same problem happened with the Firewall, is the Firewall was terrible. It had tons of holes.
Yeah.
It looked terrible. The front bars looked terrible. The engine bay was a mess. So, spent a ton of time welding up all the holes in the Firewall. I don't know what I'm doing. That was a mess. Built some plates to cover stuff up. Did the Firewall, you know, pass through. And then I painted it all. And I painted the front end, all the bars. Like, that's just, oh, and don't forget the struts. Like, I had to redo the strut.
Oh, you had to cut those out.
Yeah, the strut towers were all messed up. They had some terrible stuff in there.
People aren't going to believe, but that's spray paint.
Easy, Dave. I thought we weren't telling anyone.
No, we told him in one video already.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. Like, look at the body and then look at the tube front.
It looks good. But I did, so, I mean, it is spray paint. It doesn't turn out that good. Once I was done, I wet sanded it all and I buffed it and polished it and everything. So yeah, that took way too long. And then once I finished that, so interior's done, engine bay was done, and then parts started showing up. So I had a mock motor in here, had a mock transmission. I set the motor location. It had a big block in here, so I cut all that stuff out. So I actually, you know, used, what are those things called? Plumb bobs, and dropped it everywhere and marked it all over the ground and set the motor, the location, the height, the angle, did all that, the driveline angle to the rear end. And I mean, that was probably a week plus of time. Got all that finished up, and then it was really, okay, now let's start wiring. Wiring was the next step, so.
Oof.
This took way too long. I spent too much time on that.
It's totally worth it. This is what most people want to see.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's the wiring. So the items here, Brady's gonna kill me because I don't have the sticker on here yet. There's a Holly
that was the
sticker.
comment.
Yeah.
I was like, why is he asking what ECU? He knows what ECU that is.
No, it's because there's a sticker that goes here. It drives me crazy. Brady's gonna put it on for a second. So it's a Holly Dominator, ECU, Holly injector driver, and then that's a leash street strip board. And then these little things, this is just the Holly trans brake, solid state relay, and then a protection circuit for it. And then those are the boost control solenoids. They're not hooked up yet, but. So yeah, that's all the wiring, and it's just, it snowballed. The big thing, I had the Maven Firewall connector, we'll show that in a sec. But like just doing all this wiring, it was a lot.
He could have bought a kit, like a harness already made, but he decided to pin the whole thing himself.
Yeah, so I did it all myself. Yeah, I didn't do a plug and play.
Look how many wires there are. And you can't even tell. Like, he's got them all tucked down there.
Just everything's to length how you want it. You can do single wires. They're not too long, too short.
So here's the Maven Mount. Can you take a boot off? Is it easier now?
I mean, you will be able to kind of see.
So you can kind of see. So he had to pin all of those on both sides. And then there's even a third one for some other.
Yeah, that's this one's got some power coming through it. So separate. This one's got more.
Woo! Oh.
So this one's a 49 pin, 47 pin, and one's a 20 something pin. So yeah, no, and they control everything. So I have 16 injectors, so they all come through there, all 16 injectors.
Gosh.
And then everything, all the sensors, like you can't see them all broke out, but like throttle position, coolant pressure, fuel pressure, oil pressure, back pressure, like all these sensors, dome pressure, they all come through there. Yeah. Even like the headlights and stuff, the headlights are coming through there as well. Yeah. So like it all comes through there, and then the EGTs.
Look at the EGTs. Usually they don't look that good, but Joe took some extra time on those.
First time ever doing it.
Those look really good.
So yeah, wiring, I guess we can go in the, is there much in the back for the wiring?
Power.
No, not really, which I guess is good, it's clean, you don't see much.
So this was pretty much already here, just switch the battery out.
Yeah, well no, the battery was over here, remember?
Oh, that's right, it was.
It had a
There's
fuel
two
cell
of them.
and it had two batteries.
Two
so
batteries.
I actually cut the bars out back here.
That's what took
And
it
I
off.
did two new bars to mount the fuel cell in the center. And then I did this carbon work. This is actually Joe's carbon work. And then we did the radiator. It has a rear radiator setup. We'll show it. But the radiator's right here. It's underneath.
Yeah.
It's in the back. But this is the overflow tank for the radiator. All the lines coming through here. Race car Dave polished that for me. Show the radiator.
So yeah, you had to cut the bars out, make custom brackets.
Yeah.
I mean.
So let me see if I can. I got you. So there's the radiator setup. You can't see the bars, but there's two Yeah, you can't see the bars. Anyways, there's 2 bars I added up above that to mount the fuel cell. But there's rear radiator setup and fans. Fuel pumps back here as well. And there's a big cable that it drives the fuel pump. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so.
And you had to cut this big sheet of carbon to fit all that.
Yeah, I bought this big old sheet of carbon and cut it, trimmed it out, and mounted it in. It turned out really great. I got a cover for this as well, don't worry. It just hasn't gone in yet.
Like that? I mean, how much time was that right there? Everything.
No, it's a lot. This rear area was, probably a week's worth of work as well. Actually longer if you count the rear radiator setup.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, probably 2+ weeks of work back here, mounting the fuel cell, doing the new bars, doing the rear radiator setup. Yeah, there was several weeks back here. It's a lot of time.
Start to finish, how long did it take you to build the car from a roller to finally running?
So we were thinking it's right at 3 months. Picked it up the week before Christmas. I didn't do anything to it the week of Christmas. I started on it pretty much January 1, and we're in April. So yeah, pretty much 3 months exact.
Pretty impressive.
Heavy doors.
Yeah, we were talking earlier. We were trying to figure out how many hours it was, and we came up. It was somewhere in the ballpark of 500 to 1,000 hours of my time over 3 months. Yeah. So there you go. So
what everyone wants to know now.
everyone wants to know. What do they want to know, Dave? Why am I holding?
I don't know. Give me the camera back. You don't know what you're doing.
So it's a stock block car, stock block setup, and many people will probably wonder, why did you do a stock block over an awesome motor? Because I did have a Dart 427 in the Trans Am.
Yeah.
Stock block in the Texas and Midwest area is a very hot class. It's even hot out east right now too. There's just tons of people doing it. And I want to do it as well. Like, I had a stock block in the Trans Am, did the built motor. I enjoyed stock block. Like, it's fun. It's cool to take a GM production block and, throw some internals in it, put some nice heads on it, a big turbo, and go run crazy times. Like, it's super cool. And even why I had the Trans Am, I actually had a spreadsheet of building a stock block Mustang. Like, I wanted to build one even when I had the Trans Am. So when I got the opportunity, I said, no, I'm doing a stock block setup. I've wanted to build one from the ground up, do it how I want to do it, and here we are. I probably will build a legit motor for this car within a year and have both. But right now I'm gonna do stock block racing. It's hot. There's tons of races in Dallas. It's a fun class. So the answer is it's a GM production block. Stock. I threw in a nice set of internals on it. And, nice set of crank rods, pistons. Scog & Dickey Part Center. Their race shop down in Lubbock, Texas, did the motor for me. Great group of guys down there. So if you're looking for something, hit them up. They do all sorts of LS stuff there. Great group of guys to work with. And then I hit up Ryan Mueller Performance, got the Brodix BR1 heads from him. I ran those on the Trans Am, had great luck with them, good set of heads, so I was like, wanted to put them on the stock block setup as well. Little John did the cam for me. This is actually an off-the-shelf cam. It's not a custom.
So I can go buy it?
You can go buy it.
Sweet. I'm going to order one.
So yeah, call Little John. Little John's got his new business going up. He'll have to forgive me. I don't know the name of it yet. But he got it going. So hit up John Bewley and say, hey, give me that cam that Streetcar Joe's got.
So this is a streetcar motor, right?
Yeah. Streetcar engine in a race car, right?
That's, man.
Anyways. Mine actually has a water pump, so anyway. In order to be a streetcar engine, you have to put water through it.
That's true.
Anyways, moving on.
Gotta have alternator too. You got alternator.
Yeah, it's got an alternator. I can actually drive.
See, we're good.
Yeah, well, we just did. Like, seriously, just went cruised for an hour.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah. So Little John cam, Brodix heads. Holly intake, 60 injectors, and the rest is kind of history. It does have a forced inductions 88mm turbo on it. I went with the tile housing, going for that light stuff this time. I don't know why it looks so big, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
camera, wide angle.
Boom. So yeah, tile housing on it.
Those are sweet.
And no, they are.
So,
they look good.
We can't, I'll switch you spots so I can see the bar. You gotta explain, that took some time.
No, it did. So these, like, yeah, I didn't know how to mount this. I guess tile, everyone does this. I've never seen it, whatever. And now that I know of it, I see tons of like Radio versus the World cars that mount like
So Maven's trying to make a mount though, right?
Maven, I'm talking to Maven because this has a different center housing on it versus, you know, a standard turbo. So Maven doesn't have a mount with it. So I'm working with Jared. He's going to get me something. So for the meantime, I built this, and you know, it goes up and around and goes back to it. That took a lot of time.
That took a lot of time, like, because you got to figure out where center is.
Yeah, where to mount it and do all this stuff. Yeah,
but it actually looks really good. And Joe took the time to like hide it behind the turbo because a lot of people we saw, like you could, you could see it, and it looked like a big cradle.
So yeah, and you'll see in the pictures, you don't really notice it from the front. It's black. It kind of hides it.
No, it looks good.
So yeah, from there, you know, standard stuff. It's got Flowtech headers. Yeah, I mean the headers are like $200. Like they're cheap headers. They got great plug access. And then,
Brady.
$800.
Brady has no plug access.
JGS 50 millimeter weight skates. JGS blow off
Down
valve.
there. Still gotta make some dump tubes.
I built a merge like I've never built a merge before. It turned out really good. Like Motion Raceworks, got tons of their parts on here. These smart coil mounts are Motion Raceworks. The Valley covers Motion Raceworks. We go on and on. Tons and tons and tons of Motion Raceworks parts on this thing. Doug, always great guy. His back pressure sensor's on here. Like we'll just go on and on and on. But anyways, Doug, great guy. Hit him up for your stuff. He's got plenty of good products for LS stuff.
So why the 16 injectors, Joe?
Okay, so it's going to be very apparent. It's on pump gas right now. I'm breaking in the motor, setting the rings. This car will be on methanol.
Good old streetcar
Good
methanol.
old streetcar on methanol.
But that's why you guys don't see an intercooler, so.
Yeah, no intercooler. It's on methanol. That's also why there's a mechanical pump in the rear.
Yeah.
That's also why there's a big fuel cell back there. It will make cruises. But
it'll make a 30, 40 mile cruise, right?
It'll go over 50.
Yeah.
And I plan on building a secondary tank for those super long cruises. Because, I mean, I already drove around a bunch tonight, and the temps all stayed super low.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, and methanol is going to help it stay even cooler. So, yeah, 60 injectors. It's got 16 Bosch 210s, 60-pound base pressure. So, you know, it's good for a lot of horsepower. It's got a big pump back there. So, yeah,
I think it's like a damn fire hose.
No, it is. So, yeah, it'll support a lot of power. So... Looking forward to. I'm hoping to switch to methanol this weekend now. Broke it in. I'm gonna change the oil and go through everything. Fresh set of plugs, and I think I'm gonna change it over to methanol.
So it's trans, converter, rear end.
So it's a TRZ rear end, fab, 9-inch rear end, 40 spline, gun drilled axles.
Which came with the car, so.
Yeah, and that all came with the
legit.
car. Super nice. Transmission, all that didn't. I actually, Dusty Bradford at PTC, I hit him up for everything for the transmission. He spec'd out an awesome power glide. It's a 169 or 168? 169 first gear ratio. And it's their power glide, 10 clutch drum. I mean, it's bad to the bone. And then it's also got a PTC converter in it. Definitely.
A nice little M&M shifter.
And an M&M shifter. Shout out Brandon Carter at Carter Motorsports. He got me the shifter and all the injectors. He sells more Bosch 210 injectors than I think anyone in the next year.
Really?
Yeah, he sells just thousands of sets.
That's awesome. No, it looks good. I mean, literally Joe built everything.
Pretty much.
Literally everything. So he built, like, even the motor plate. That's what took a long time. Doing the motor plate.
Eddie, I think is how you pronounce his last name. AEI Inc. is his company. I got the motor plates from him. And then, like, the alternator and fuel brackets all came from him, and he helped me out and got the fuel pump, and like he spec'd it all and the cable, and he did everything. So he got me all those parts, and then I put them in.
Joe made it all work.
Made it all in, but yeah, like there's an engine limiter down there, like all the motor plates, the locations, all these brackets. Like I built them all. Like
literally,
it's one of those like the fuel pump bracket, like. It doesn't come with anything. You just have to figure it out. Like it comes with a housing that has some bolts, but then it's like, how am I going to mount that to my frame? Like I go over here, I start cutting parts, I start singing, I weld them together, and I weld it to
People always ask, like, how do you guys know? I was like, oh, just trial and error.
You just do it. Like, you just
start going.
But yeah, like radiator, like all those brackets and how it mounts, made it. Transmission cooler, made all those brackets. Like it's just, it's like, oh, this is going to go here. We need to build a bracket for it.
Just figure out how to make it work.
Yep.
But no, it's cool. Joe literally built everything. And man, if you didn't have delays on parts, it probably would have been done like a month ago.
So yeah,
There's some big delays.
I had delays. Heads were an issue. Those got delayed. They had some problems with those. Those were delayed a little bit. The turbo was a big one. Because I couldn't fab any of the hot side and all that stuff until I got this turbo, and it was delayed.
But then once you got the turbo, you fabbed it up pretty quick.
And once I got the turbo, did the hot side pretty fast. Yeah. And it all came together pretty quick.
No, it looks good. It's even got little gussets down there because the gates are hanging off, so they're putting a lot of weight on there. I mean, it looks legit.
Like brake lines, we did all the brake lines.
Yep. Like even to the brake lines.
And it just it keeps going on. New seat and just keep going.
So same tuner, right, as the Trans Am?
Yeah,
so
tuned by JP is helping me out. I do a lot of the tuning. He does a lot. I consult with him. Like we both work on it. But yeah, I lean on him, especially heavily now because I haven't really done the methanol setup.
Yeah.
He's done tons of them and he's really good at it. So he's helping me get going. So yeah, we got our second iteration of the tunes in the car. It's driving good. Like it did really good tonight.
So what do you gotta do now? You're ready for methanol, right?
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm gonna change the oil, put a fresh set of plugs in it, and yeah, switch the tune and go to meth.
And we gotta find a track.
And we gotta find a track. I wanna go test it next weekend.
Yeah. So the car's ready to go. I mean, I honestly don't. We did a live video. I was like, I don't think you could change anything. Like the wheels are perfect, the fitment's good, the car sits perfect. Like I think it's the black looks good. All the polished accents, like the turbo, the exhaust, those are all polished. But then you got the black billet covers, black intake manifold. Like Joe even powder coated this.
I did. I powder coated this myself. Daniel, local guy that normally does my powder coating, he was busy. I went out there and he's like, "Oh no, go ahead." So
hit Joe up for your powder coating.
A couple more shout outs. 417 Motorsports, Blake Hughes. I got that awesome water manifold on the front. Looks awesome. But he also did the 60 injector conversion.
Oh, on the manifold, yeah.
So that looks really good. Jeremy at Amarillo Off-Road for all your fuel needs.
Got some over the fuel. Methanol. Burn your eyes out.
Hit that guy up if you're local in Amarillo. He's our VP dealer. Does a great job. Shout out Aaron at Scoggin Dickey. If you need just any parts, hit that guy up. Like, he will get you taken care of. And also, like, if you need a motor, hit him up. That's what he actually does, is specs motors and picks combinations and gets them all going for people all day long, which he helped a ton on this. Not only does he recommend parts, but he's so good with timelines. Like Scoggin Dickey killed it on timeline.
Your motor was done pretty quick. If it wasn't for the heads,
they beat the original timeline by over a week. And like he picked parts, and then he'd call and get lead times, be like, oh no, these parts, they're a little behind, but these are just as good, same price, and they're available on the shelf. Like he was super good on the motor. So definitely hit them up. Racecraft, got a bunch of parts from them, they're great. I'm trying to think of all the companies.
There's so much.
Yeah, and not all these are, most of these companies that I'm talking about, I'm just a normal customer. They're not giving me free products. I get no free products from all this stuff. Like, yeah, I do have some sponsored deals, but I don't have just like any free products. It's not like, hey, Holly sent me this. That'd be nice.
Someday.
But I'm not there.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. About to get all the sponsor stickers on the car. Obviously, huge shout out Trey, TG Motorsports. They're the main sponsor of the car. We got a lot of good stuff coming this year. It sucks everything's going on right now, but we're excited to get out racing and start winning some stuff.
Yeah, Joe and I got some big stuff coming for TG Motorsports, so we got a lot coming. We just need to get back to racing.
Oh, we need to be racing.
Joe, what's your favorite part about the car? One thing. Pick one thing.
If I was to pick one thing.
One thing.
It's kind of hard.
Like, what sticks out when someone's like, can I see your car? And you're like, dude, look at this.
It's gotta be the stands.
I know. Oh, man.
When I originally bought the car, like I said, unless
it's the first thing we talked about.
I know, unless it's sitting in the weeds, like I don't want it. I think it did pretty good.
No, it looks super good. Brady?
I like the steering wheel, like as silly as that is.
No, the steering wheel.
Awesome.
Legit. Brady, favorite part of the car?
I like that shifter. After sitting in it first,
No, you need
it's cool.
Drive it.
It's legit. Joe's got to get used to it. So yeah, Joe even had to make the shifter mount. I mean, literally everything. So, but there's the steering wheel. You can get those from Motion Raceworks. Super nice steering wheel.
I would say that the stands.
But man, where the heck is the passenger seat? Joe, where's the passenger seat?
Hey, easy. It's inside. It's coming.
It's coming. Hopefully it has a seatbelt this time.
It will have a seatbelt. My seatbelt's behind my seat.
Yeah, where's your harness?
I need to install. I still got a list of stuff to do.
So yeah,
I think the second favorite thing, or it'd be close to the top first. So like the stance of the steering wheel, but like the removable front end. Like to see this thing sitting with the front end off the car.
Yeah, no, it's legit.
Just the super legit tubular front end and the motor, like it just turned out better.
It's a badass car. Now it can come off as a one piece, but it's not actually a one piece front end. So
correct. So those are factory.
Yeah, these are actually factory. Yeah. And so are the doors still.
Doors, the trunks factory, the roofs factory, the quarter panels. It's all factory steel car.
Joe was very specific in everything he needed on the car. That's why it was kind of hard to find. But
what was your favorite part about the build?
Ooh.
Favorite part of the build. So actually, the last month has been really enjoyable because, and it's bad to say this, but because of everything and all the events got canceled and everything, I could slow down and take my time and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I was so rushed the first couple months trying to get everything and get everything going.
Yeah.
I was stressed out. The last month's been really enjoyable, but the favorite part of the build, wiring. Like, I loved it.
As tedious as it was.
As tedious as it was and how long it took and how long I spent on it to look at the finished result is just, it makes me
At one point, you said, man, I'm not sounding like 3 or 4 days. No big deal.
I never said that.
You're like, maybe I'll take some days off of work. I'll knock this out.
Yeah, no, the wiring, like, legitimately took me 3 weeks.
It's worth it, though.
No, like the firewall, because I didn't need to do the firewall.
It looks super clean.
But, like, all this stuff, like, in the end, like, I love how it turned out. And I wish you could see underneath the intake. There's so much stuff.
Yeah, there's a bunch of wires going through. But it's all loomed up, all nice. Looks good.
It's all loomed up and heat shrinked and safe and good. And it just, yeah.
No, it looks good. I'm excited to see the car run. We got high hopes for it. So, but it's ready.
If it doesn't go fast, anyone want to buy a Fox?
No. Don't even start talking about it. I still miss the Trans Am, so I'm still getting over the Trans Am. However, this one is easily starting to replace it. I mean, it's just clean, everything.
Just another Mustang. It looks pretty good.
Just another Mustang.
Rebel soul child got a fist balled. I'm a respawn of ancestors, and I'm blessed, They are not him, tell him fess up. I get check stub, hella carefree, nothing scares me, hella reckless. Yeah, I got next up, right? No, we not the same, cause see when I look in your iris, you likely to talk but not ready to ride. You do better keeping it quiet. My pen is ignited, my soul is enlightened. I like who I am, but I'm biased. They palette is right, and my drip is a fountain. I'm not like these regular guys. All of that talk is misguided. She like the way I make the tape print, but the way I make the words play is grim. I'm the reaper reaching for the kill switch. The label cut the check like the bladesman. Something sparking where his brain is. The beat is somewhere where they prayers in. Geronimo, the way I make the bass jump when no parachute is tasteless. They likely to run their mouth, but when they see you face to face, they quick with the shape shift. Up through the night, work the grave shift. Batted from the cradle to the grave, bitch. Big mad how they face tense. Look both ways for you catch fade. I'm a nice guy on the inside, still I'm not somebody to be played with. Keep it all the way 1,000. I don't remember how the ground feels. I left the city, I've been browsing. Treading water that they drowning. My head on the swivel, yeah. It's only really my surroundings. They keep it all the way 1,000. I don't remember how the ground feels. I left the city, I've been browsing. Treading water that they drowning. My head on the swivel.